From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Friday morning. The time is 5:30. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day and kicking off the weekend with us. I know someone who loves the weekend.
Yeah.
His name is Miller.
And it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag, though. Yesterday was a mixed bag. We started off absolutely gorgeous out there. Wonderful sunrise. Sunset, not so much. That cold front came through. We got into the mid-60s for our high yesterday, just past lunchtime. By the time we headed home, we were in the mid-30s. That cold front really packed a wallop. We're at 32 right now at the airport as we take a live look across Billings, courtesy of the Stockman Bank weather cam. Feels like 26. Humidity up near 80%. The dew point's at 26. Those numbers will fall as we go along today as that drier air takes over. Winds out of the west at about 7 miles an hour, and those winds will start to kick up too. We do have that downslope flow, and of course those winds chasing behind that front. And then we've got another system that's going to come in this weekend to help kick up the winds. 28 right now at Reed Point. We've got mainly clear skies at Big Timber at 29, Harlingen at 28, down in Gray Bull at 34, Basin 34, Aberdeen Hill we got some snow at 31, and Forsyth with some clouds and 31. Highs today low to mid, maybe some upper 50s, possibly near 60 in some spots with that downslope flow really trying to warm us up. We'll go with a high today here of 57 in Billings, just a little bit above average, and look at all that wonderful sunshine to help us get there. It's going to be a very nice but cool Friday. Enjoy, everybody.
I love a cool Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miller. I'll get to news. And our top story this Friday, local health leaders are reaching out to some community members after a mistake was made with the COVID-19 vaccine. Anyone who got their second dose at the Shrine Auditorium between 8 and 8:45 Wednesday morning may have been shorted. Officials say a pharmacist underfilled 10 shots, and a group of about 100 people may have received one of those 10. If you are one of these individuals, you will be contacted by the Unified Health Command. Officials say they have reached out to the CDC for guidance on how to proceed. More than 31,000 people, or over 24% of the county's population, are fully vaccinated. Yellowstone County Health Officer John Felton says it's key to deliver every dose as soon as it gets here.
Ideally, if we can reach the point of at least that 75% protection of the population through mostly through vaccination, but also through natural infection, that will make our summer much more pleasant for everybody because the risk will be substantially reduced.
Public health experts say another COVID-19 surge may already be underway in the U.S. As CBS's Naomi Ruckham tells us, it's powered by more contagious variants that appear to target young and old alike.
About 3 million vaccines are now being administered in the U.S. every day. More than a third of the population has received at least one dose, and nearly 20% are considered fully vaccinated. Yet the number of infections has been rising, with more than 64,000 new cases reported daily. In the upper Midwest, hospitalizations are up 42% in the past week.
The last time we have seen numbers like that was 12 months ago in April of 2020.
According to the CDC, the most common source of new infections is the B117 strain that was first identified in the UK in December. Experts say children may be more susceptible to the variant.
Prior to this time, young kids, particularly those in 8th grade or younger, rarely got infected or seriously ill with the virus, and importantly, did not transmit the virus in the community. Today, that has been turned on its head.
Mass vaccination sites in North Carolina and Colorado were closed this week after some recipients experienced adverse reactions to the shot. All were administering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
At this point, we have no reason to believe there's anything wrong with the vaccine itself.
The reactions ranged from dizziness to nausea, and at least 2 people were hospitalized. The CDC is investigating, but says COVID-19 vaccines are both safe and effective. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
The U.S. has recorded more than 31 million confirmed COVID-19 cases to date and over 560,000 deaths. Well, we have warning for Bighorn County, Montana residents this morning. The suspect accused of shooting and seriously injuring a man in Crow Agency is still on the run. Authorities say Fabian Dawes is armed and dangerous. The victim of the crime was flown to Billings for medical treatment. Anyone with information on Dawes' location is asked to contact the Bureau of Indian Affairs or call the sheriff's office. Now we go to the state capitol, where the Montana Senate passed its version of the state's main budget. In traditional years, House Bill 2 is a centerpiece of the session, but with so much federal relief money coming in, it's just a piece of the budget puzzle for the legislature. Yesterday, Senate Democrats made a push to include extra funding for things like disability services and school lunch programs. They almost got Republicans to agree to more funding for suicide prevention, but it narrowly failed.
The data might be hard to find, but if the data is one person that we've saved their life, that could be your family member, that could be someone in your family, a friend, community member, it's worth it to me.
We've tried to get a handle on this. Throwing more money out for suicide prevention feels good, but what are we getting for the money?
The Senate's version of the bill is similar in size to what the House passed, but has differences in specific appropriations. Senate leaders expect the House will reject the new amendments and send the bill to a conference committee to work out a final version. 3 major marijuana reform bills are now on their way to the Montana Senate after the House passed them all. House Bills 701, 670, and 707 move forward on near party line votes. Each one lays out a different way to implement recreational marijuana in the state and a different plan for using the tax revenue from legal sales. Earlier this week, GOP leaders told their members they wanted all 3 bills to advance to the Senate so they would have more options for possible amendments in the coming weeks. And some news just breaking about an hour ago. Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II, has died. He passed away peacefully this morning at Windsor Castle. In a statement, the palace said it is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen announces the death of her beloved husband. The Duke had been admitted to the hospital in London on February 17th after feeling unwell. Prince Philip was 99 years old. In Texas, a gunman opened fire on a cabinet manufacturing company, killing 1 person and injuring several others. Police tracked down 27-year-old Larry Bolin after an exhaustive search. It is the 4th mass shooting in the United States in just 3 weeks. And we're learning a former NFL player is behind the murder of 5 people in South Carolina earlier this week. 32-year-old Phillip Adams killed a well-known doctor, the man's wife, their 2 young grandchildren, and another man working on the house. Adams then killed himself at a nearby home. Police are trying to figure out a motive for the shooting. Adams played 5 years in the NFL until an ankle injury and several concussions forced him to retire. And a key witness at Derek Chauvin's murder trial said what was done to George Floyd would have killed a healthy person. The witness is a pulmonology expert and compared Floyd's struggle during his arrest to having a lung removed, saying he died from a low level of oxygen. The medical examiner who performed the autopsy on George Floyd is set to take the stand today. And now closer to home, the farmers market in downtown Billings is back this summer, starting the 3rd Saturday in July. Last year, the board decided it would not have enough people to monitor and enforce COVID guidelines. Well, this year, there will be no special requirements, but there will be hand washing stations in an effort to keep lines flowing. And football fans rejoice. The Montana Grizzlies will be back on the gridiron 485 days after their last game. The Grizz will face Central Washington tomorrow at Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula. Some fans will be in attendance, with the university allowing 20% capacity. The Grizz will play 2 games this spring, with 1 more coming against Portland State. The Montana State Bobcats decided against playing any early games, but both teams will be in action for a full schedule this fall.